Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is having a fabulous week. And we are here with Love Dr. Nikki from Oranum. And this week we are changing it up and we are doing a horoscope of the week, which is something different. So, if you want to know a little bit more about your sign and what's going to happen this week, please stay tuned until we get to your sign and you can ask a couple questions and get to know a little bit more about Love Dr. Nikki. So, Love Dr. Nikki tells a little bit more about yourself and what this live stream will be about.
Hi, everybody. I'm LoveDrNikki from Oranum.com, one of the best psychic sites on the internet. We're always in the top 10. Now, what we're going to be doing here today is I've done horoscopes for all the different signs, and we'll go through those first. As I go through each sign at the end of doing that sign, like Emmy said, we'll be taking a couple of questions. I have been working in the industry for over 53 years. And I have been doing nothing but readings and astrology and that type of thing for my income since 1998. So I've been doing this a while and I love questions. They're always fun. And we have a week to go through this week. There's a lot going on astrologically. Want to make sure a couple of things. Number one, please do the information below because it's a real thing. They will be giving away a free reading with me, and I am one of their top 10 readers. I am every week. Now, are you guys ready to start this horoscope thing?
Let's do this. We all are.
Let's do this. Okay, right. The first thing we'll be looking at, of course, is we'll look at the sign of Aries. And Aries is probably getting some really good energy. I want to talk about a couple general things first, though. This week is a crazy week with astrology. There's stuff going on everywhere. Last night was the full moon. Now, we can't totally escape the influence of that full moon because it's actually a 3-night full moon because of the way it's a super moon and how close it is. So that's a lot of energy coming at us. The sun is moving into Virgo. We have, what are some of the others? Oh, on Thursday, mark your calendars. For everyone, Thursday is a good day for getting things done, and especially things in an astrological way. And then on Friday, you want to be careful of anything Mercury retrograde with communications, especially with those that you love or someone you have a coordination to go out with. And so we are getting some more people in there. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. And I'm Love Dr. Nikki, and we're going to get started with this astrology live event here for Oranum.com. And what we'll start with is, of course, the sign of Aries. Now, Aries is going to be a busy week for you. That full moon is going to be a great time for you to spend some time with friends and family, get a couple in last summer hurrah kind of parties and that type of thing. As summer drifts into fall, we have the sun entering into Virgo, and that really ups your productivity zone to where you can get a lot more done with a lot less effort. So it's a good time to take on larger projects right now. And that even overrides the Mercury retrograde, which is another thing that's going on. We actually technically have 6 planets retrograde. So that kind of kerfluffles the energy for everybody in some way or another. But try not to, dear friend Aries, try not to overdo it. And you want to stay kind of pacing yourself on Saturday, because Vesta transits, and with Vesta transiting, you're gonna be wanting to be the perfectionist and get it all done right now. So that's kind of what's coming up in the next week for Aries. Do I have any Aries folks here that want to ask a question? Goiken Can, what's your question, hon? What's your question, Goiken Can? And is there anybody else that's an Aries? Would you like to ask a question, Goiken? And do I have any other Aries here in the house? Will this week be good for love? Actually, yes, it is. Your best days for love, let me make sure. Yes, Your best days for love are Friday and Sunday. That's when you've got the best time for really getting to know someone. And Friday is much stronger than Sunday. And the energy on Friday actually overrides that Mercury retrograde when it comes to a connection with a new person. Just for that day, though. Okay. Do we have any other Aries? Do we have any other Aries? Scorpio, are you Aries? You are in the 11th house. And Sandra, we're only doing one sign at a time, hon, or I'll get totally lost. So, Scorpio, do you have a question for Aries? And Sandra, we will be doing Taurus next, so hold on to that question. And last call for an Aries question. Last call for an Aries question. And guys, if this seems a little disjointed, it's because the first time we've done it this way. So it's kind of a cool, fun experiment. And we'll move on to Taurus, my favorite sign, of course. What day is a lucky day? Friday is your lucky day. For Aries, Friday is your lucky day. Yep. Yesterday and Friday were the luckiest days for Aries. Now, moving, and thank you for your question, Scorpio. Thank you very much. And now we move on to Taurus. Taurus is going to have a really major boost this week with energy and productivity, especially when it comes to professional reputation. And that's really going to be a forefront for you this week is the professional reputation, how you're seen by your workmates and your superiors in the workplace. And the networking you have been working on doing and trying to create and make happen for yourself is having an impact. It's just pacing it out rather slow. Although on, I think it's Wednesday, on Wednesday, you do have it's a great time to go to lunch with your loved one. Also on Thursday, when the sun enters Virgo, that's going to up your creativity zone. So be careful you don't overload yourself, as we Taurians are meant to do, and we do a lot of. And remember, we've got that Vesta entering into your creativity zone on Saturday. So you probably will be feeling an urge to create and trying to carve out some fun and things for you to do for yourself that celebrate life. Now, do we have questions? I know, Sandra, are you still here, Sandra? I know Sandra was Sandra Burke or Brecky. Sandra Becky, are you still here? And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm doing is I'm going down and giving the general for the week for each individual sign, and then taking one or two questions after we do that sign from people that are in that sign. Sandra, you were trying to send me a question before when I was doing Aries, and I made you wait because we had to do Taurus first. What's your question, my dear? And do we have any other Taurians in the house? Any other bulls? And what's your question, Sandra? And ladies and gentlemen, if you are of a particular sign, try to, really handy to have your question so that you can just either hit return or have your question ready to just drop with a cut and paste. That saves us both time. Will your October plans work out? I can only tell you what it looks like I'm only doing this week. But I'm seeing that plans made this week do pan out well. It's a good time for communicating and setting up plans for the future. But as far as will it go well, I would have to look at October specifically, and I'm only doing this week, hon. And any other Taurians in the house? Last call for Taurus. Well, last call for Taurus. And moving on to Gemini. Have we got any Geminis in the house? If so, let's see a question or two while I'm giving you the general overview. And now this week, you're starting with kind of feeling adventurous and probably wanting to see some new horizons. And with the Aquarian full moon, it really did get to you. And it's a good time for maybe some new places to go and exploring even just your local community. Take a walk down a street you've never walked down before. Now, as summer starts to drift away from us, your focus is going to shift to getting your house in order because the sun entering Virgo is entering into on your root zone and your home zone. And that's on Thursday. It's a great time to think about your long range plans and what you're wanting to do for the holiday period. By the end of the week, you're going to need to be the family fixer. So you're going to kind of want to be careful and make sure you hear both sides of the story. One may not be as honest as the other one on over the weekend. But other than that, actually, Gemini has a very good week. Yes, they do. They have a very good week because it's all about connecting and family. And gee whiz, for a Gemini, that's easy to do. Now, your twin nature, you still have to make sure you get yourself some space too, right, Gemini? And Daisy Brown, you are a Gemini. Welcome and thank you, Daisy. What does it look like for you in career this week? Let me look. And career is actually good. What is your actual day of birth? Just the day. I don't need just the number for the day. That's going to help me focus on where I need to look. You're May 20th or May 30th. Okay. Now, with it being May 30th, and you want to know what is looking best for you in career this week, the sun entering Virgo is good for a lot of things. Plus, you have the moon entering Taurus. I think Friday. What I'm seeing is Friday is probably going to be the best career day for you. I would definitely check in. Yeah, Friday is going to be your best one because you have the Venus is in Virgo, and Venus talks about money and material matters. Mercury is still retrograde, but it is in Leo, so it talks about expansion. So I'd have to say that Friday is probably your best day. Now, shall we move on to Cancer? Shall we move on to Cancer? And check one more time. Last call for Gemini. And ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to click that button. And remember that you can come back and see me after this on Oranum.com. It's a great place. We got plenty of astrologers there. And Daisy Brown's question is, what's it looking like for me in career? That we just did that one. So we are moving on to Cancer. Moving on to Cancer. Hello, hello, hello. And Cancer, this week is a good one for you as well. It begins very nice with an intimacy note with that full moon in Aquarius and getting things all nice and warm. So your intimacy zone is going to definitely be impacted yesterday and today. Now, you may be being drawn towards humanitarian efforts, helping out your fellow man. Now's a good time to maybe give a few hours of volunteer time, getting the bang for the buck. It's also time for you to let go of the past. You're beginning to be able to see what you need to let go of and what you need to hold on to, and you should be starting to act on those. Now, you are going to have to be very careful on Saturday about miscommunications because Vesta is coming into your communication zone, and that's going to make it a little bit difficult to get your point across. And message is kind of like Mercury retrograde on steroids. So you're going to need to check your spam and that kind of thing. So who do we have that has a Cancer question? Hi, Crystal Black, and what is your question, my dear? What can I help you with today, Crystal? Okay, not this week. Once we get early, I was afraid I was going to get this, so I looked a little bit ahead further. Now, today, this week is still left foot, right foot, struggling, not necessarily fighting for every breath, but it is still more of a challenge for you right now, especially with that full moon in Aquarius. And then some of the aspects that are going on right now don't favor the ripple. I think the ripples might get smaller, but I don't want to infer that there are no ripples. I do see ripples coming, but they are things you can overcome. It's the same BS you've been kind of dealing with, especially the last couple months. And it will get better, but I think you'll find it gets better the first week of September. Remember bell curve? You're kind of about here, and things are going to start getting better and smooth out and mellow out as you go into September. And thanks for the question. I knew I was going to get that. And thank you, Crystal. And do we have any other Cancerians in the house? And do we have any other Cancers? And Mary. Maria, Mary, how are you today? Nice to see you. And you want to know if you're going to meet your special someone soon. As a Cancer, let me see here. Now, Venus in Virgo, that's where Friday would be a good romantic day for you. Saturday, not so much because of communication glitches, especially with Vesta. I do think romance is coming your way. I don't think it's coming this week, but I am seeing that your stars, quote unquote, are aligning and moving more towards a relationship connection that's solid for you. But I don't see that happening. I don't think it happens until, after the full moon in September. That's when. I don't think it happens now. I'm seeing that's more like September for you to meet your special someone. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm LoveDrNikki from Oranum.com. And after we're done here today, I hope you'll join me over at Oranum.com. We have literally thousands of readers there. We have a bunch of astrologers who are very knowledgeable people that would be more than happy for you to come visit them. And do we have another Cancer? I'm not seeing another Cancer question. So we're going to move on to Leo. And Leo, has it been a week already? After all that summer fun and romance, I hate to say this, but this week's the week to kind of buckle down. Kind of time to get serious about relationship and decide what you really want. Riding the fence has been good and fun this summer, but making a decision now is going to be best for you, or else the decision is going to be made for you. And I don't think you want something or someone else making your relationship question or your relationship for you. Now, it is a good time to make sure that the relationship you're in is the right one and you're on the same sheet of music. Deep conversations with the one you love could ensue, especially on Thursday or Friday. Be careful of talk on Saturday. And dear Leo, your season, because we're getting close to the end of your sign, your season is coming to an end, but that doesn't mean that your fun is over with by any stretch of the imagination. With the sun moving into Virgo, it's almost like you get a breath of fresh air, and then you can start off. And one of the things that's working that you need to keep up on is staying up on your financial security and double checking the balance in the checkbook and that kind of thing. So what do we have for questions from Leos? Let's see. I'm a Leo, and will I ever have the money to travel to meet him? Okay, May. I don't think you travel to meet him this week. I'm not seeing this week being a good... I don't think you'll travel to meet him this week. I do... Looking at long range, very strong potential, but in the next, I'm only covering this week. But in the long term, very much a potential. That's something maybe we could work on one-on-one back at Oranum. But I do see where it is coming. It's just not here yet, if that makes sense. It's on the way, and the relationship will happen, but I think you've got a little bit to wait for it. Um, it feels like the energies are building in that way, and you are moving into and shifting into a time where love and romance and new connections are good for Leos. So stay positive, but I think you will be meeting him soon. Okay. Now, do we have any other questions from, oh, there's one. Lawani, how you doing, Lawani? Nice to see you. Will you meet him this week? I want to bounce up and down, but I don't think so. No, I don't see you. No, that's not favored. It's what's favored for Leo for romance is the relationship that you're working. If the relationship, I don't see you meeting a special someone. The energy for love this week is more focused on pre-existing relationships. It's not as good for meeting new people. It's just not the best time to meet new people. Sticking with the tried and true for another week or so, and then kind of spreading your wings and maybe checking something else out in September. But I am not seeing you meet him this week. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. And is that all the questions for Leo? And is Gail your Leo also? Okay, cool. Will you ever meet a man? Not this week. No. Unfortunately, it's not a good week for Leos to make a solid love connection. It's a good week for Leos to work on and improve the love connection that they have. But seeking a new love connection, we're still impacted by that Mercury retrograde. And it makes it really difficult to start a new relationship or make that new meeting when we're still under the Mercury retrograde. And we have numerous planets retrograde, and that's part of what's working against us right now as we kind of feel a little bogged down. And now moving on to the sign of Virgo. And thank you very much for your questions, Gail. Now moving on to the signs of Virgo. Please post your message for Miss Emmy. Let's see here. And Virgo. Okay. Virgo, if that bad habit isn't gone by now, you're probably not going to get rid of it. Not this summer. You kind of have one final chance this week to let go of something that's holding you back. And it is a conscious releasing that you have the opportunity to do, especially on Tuesday. Today. Today and tomorrow are good days for you to kind of get stuff done. But with the sun entering your sign and everything else close to retrograde, Thursday is your day. Absolutely, Virgo. When the sun enters your sign, it's like, ooh, and it enters your sign and puts you in the spotlight, makes you feel better. You have more vibe, you got more vigor, you're ready to take on the world. So Virgos have a very good week coming up. Just be careful. On Saturday, there is a warning with the Vesta transit about getting too starry-eyed too fast about somebody. So if you feel you're falling really quick, take a step back and look harder. It may be that you're missing something important. So do we have questions from Virgos? Do we have any questions from Virgos? Hi, Marianne Ryan. Oh, your day's the same day. My dad's birthday was September 4th. How cool. Yours is the 4th and his is the 19th. Memory recall, give me a sec. 4th and the 19th. Okay. Yes, but it's a relationship that you have to pack your patience. The way that combination works, you really need to pack your patience. It can be a very strong, loving, long-term connection, but patience will be required because you're both going to need your space. Time to just kick back and think and get away from the world. And as long as you two can remember that about each other, just because you need a couple hours alone doesn't mean you hate them. Just means you need a couple hours alone. Okay? But I really think that what I'm seeing here, the relationship will develop and you do have a chance, but it's step by step, not leaps and bounds. Okay? Oh, cool. We do have an April. April is a Virgo. How you doing, April? And as soon as you get a chance, toss up your question for me. And Marianne Ryan, he's worth the investment of time. I think he is. And what you got, April? Well, hi there, Yulker. How you doing today? And what you got for me, April? And while she's doing that, we're going to go past. We're starting to get close to our stop time, so I'm going to kind of move through the signs a little bit more quickly. And if you want to look into them more deeply, we can always do that in a private chat over at Oranum. Absolutely. Well, myself and a bunch of other people are astrologers over there. Now, even with the Mercury, now this one is for Libra. And even with the Mercury retrograde, it's going to take some time for you to express yourself and have some August fun. It's also the time to spend the rest of your summer making sure you're coming back to who you are, not who you let yourself become over the summer. And it's also a good time for introspection and emotional, spiritual healing. So Libra, that emotional, spiritual healing is really big on Saturday. We go into Scorpio, and Scorpios are, okay, Scorpios, this is the end of the summer, and it's time for you to start getting a little sluggish and slow. Make sure to look out for community events near home that might give you a new perspective and a new idea, especially this weekend. And when you're looking to make decision with the sun in Virgo, you might want to wait a little while and see what else could be revealed by that. And then, of course, social change is definitely tied to Vesta, and that's what's coming up for you on Saturday. Sunday feels like a pretty laid-back day. Sagittarius, we're getting ready for a boost of mental energy, and you're going to be firing on about 20 extra cylinders and really at the top of your game. This is really going to be a good thing for your communication, especially as we go through the week, and especially in the professional context. It could even get you noticed in a very positive way. Also, it's time to get back on track and focusing on your career, because it is what's going to be the next month or two going to be coming up more and more prominently. Now, also commit to the goals. Remember those goals you made when you first started the year, those resolution things? And keep those going as much as possible. The ones that still fit, keep working on them. Moving into Capricorn, and everybody's feeling that full moon last night and all the stuff that went with it. And school is back in session, so make sure you give yourself time to think. And for you, dear Capricorn, it's a great time to sign up for a class. There's also, you're committing to yourself, maybe wanting to get a little bit more into who you are and why you are and what you're thinking and why you're thinking. And that's really kind of where you're experiencing the Vesta transit. Moving on to Aquarius, and the moon isn't in the 7th house anymore, unfortunately. We can start the week, of course. Monday was the Aquarian full moon, and that made it very important for you. This week is your week to shine in a lot of ways. Also, some things that may have been hidden from you for the earlier part of the summer do become revealed. Thursday, communication day. Saturday, it's going to have some powerful changes for you, especially in the home sector with that Vesta retrograde. So be careful of getting into unintended spats with people. Sometimes it's okay to just say, okay, whatever, and walk away. And finally, our last sign, I want to make sure we don't get, I want to make sure we don't ruin things. Pisces, you are strong possibility of uncovering hidden truths with this full moon excursion we're under. So don't be afraid to look for the truth. It may just set you free because I'm seeing it will allow you to let go of old ways of thinking, but may also include some harsh endings. And despite the retrograde with Mercury in communications, focus on new important relationships because that is the new tribe you will be spending the next few years being very close with. Also, consider taking your relationship to the next level. Vesta gives her blessings to lovers when she transits like this. And that, I'm sorry we had to rush through them, guys, but we only have a limited time we can do these in. And if you're interested and have other questions, you can pop over to Oranum.com. That's where I'll be in about 3 minutes. I think you did. I think so. Yeah, I did Scorpio, hon. We did Scorpio, unfortunately. Yeah. That's to consider the big picture over this week. Scorpios consider the big picture over this week. And ladies and gentlemen, this was an experiment for us, and I think it's a successful one. I either need to write shorter horoscopes or we need to have a longer time so that everybody gets a chance to ask a question or two. But it's time for me to run away. Miss Emmy, I think, might have a little bit more information for you. But I'm going to run away and go get ready for you to come visit me in my chat room at Oranum.com.
Yeah, we just wanted to say thank you, LoveDrNikki. All right, we'll see you on Oranum. All right, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here and being here with us on this live stream. It is a horoscope of the week. And I just wanted to say that if you have any questions about your sign, you can come to Oranum and just click on the link. LoveDrNikki will be live on Oranum. So please go ahead, click on that link, and you will be able to see in chat with LoveDrNikki, and she will be able to answer any of the questions that were posted. I know we had to rush through all the signs, but we only had a limited time of 30 minutes, and we're already past the 30 minutes. So please go ahead, come on Oranum, click on that link, and you will be able to ask your questions to LoveDrNikki. And I see so many questions about Sagittarius. So if you're Sagittarius, and I see some questions about Capricorns and Aquarius and Pisces, please go ahead, click on that link, and LoveDrNikki should be live already, and you will be able to ask any questions. That being said, we will be doing another one of these next week. So please go ahead, subscribe, follow, give us a like, share it